BitCraft is a survival crafting base building PvE eco game where the automatons rebuild the world again. This game is quite unique, but if you could mix Albion Online, Eco, and RuneScape together, you would get this game. I will first be explaining everything the Empire does with zero bias, but then right after I will give you my strong opinions about it. This video is heavily scripted because I want to make sure I got nothing wrong. To sum up the Empire system, it is where you take control of land, but it's better to explain all the systems. When you first become an empire, you can either choose to create an empire or join an empire. Creating an empire costs 2,500 hexite shards, and I don't know the price of joining an empire. I would assume it's free. Hexite is a premium currency. Early access players start with 10,000 hexite for paying $30 for playing early. Then in the future, when the game is free players will start with 0 shards. I focused on making an empire, so most of my knowledge comes from that. After making an empire, you will get full access to the empire menu. This is basically all the management and settings for the empire. For summary, it's self-explanatory. It just shows total shards, amount of authorities, the stats of contributions, how much you've ruled, and the message of the day. But below the summary, it has empire options, which has 3 options. Edit emblem, there's not many color options, but quite a bit of logo options to customize both your cape and the empire's colors. Submit empire is merging with another empire. Delete empire is deleting an empire. Unsure if it refunds all your supplies back. The authority section shows who rules over the empire. So we got 4, sort of. Emperor, the ruler, and then officers. There are 7 ranks of officers, each rank locked based on how much territory you'll need to conquer. Then noble and citizen, they're both the same, but if you donate hexite, you can become a noble depending on how much your emperor put down as the requirement as a noble. In the contribution section, it shows who contributed hexite to the empire, along with the 15 biggest spenders. The node section shows all your settlements and watchtowers. Also shows all your battles you are currently in. There are 3 buildings you can build from. The Empire Foundry, this creates hexite capsules. It costs 100 shards and 1,000 supplies for 1 hexite capsule. Once you place this, it costs 1,000 hexite, but that hexite becomes the initial currency you start with. The hexite reserve building, I never used it, but the description says it's used to store massive amounts of hexite capsules. I believe this is used to have easier access in case the watchtower is too far from the settlement. And the watchtower building are towers that you place that have a 5x5 range of taking over the map. Once placed, it starts consuming hexite capsules. There are also sieges in this game. Sieges start when a player puts a hexite capsule into an opposing watchtower. You then fight each other by spending hexite capsules, and whoever spends more money wins the watchtower. And here are the ways to spend premium currencies in an empire. And if we combine all of the required premium currency, you'll come up with 3,600 hexite for 1 tower, which that tower consumes 100 hexite every 10 days and 10 hours. That would be just under $5 if you purchase hexite before release, but between $5 to $10 on full release. Now, let's talk about my opinion over the whole empire system. But before that, I want to complain about monetization as a whole. Early access players who purchase this game, we get 10,000 hexite for purchasing this game for $30, but the hexite exchange shows $30 being 23,963 hexite. So early access players get 13,963 less hexite than someone who pays for hexite in early access. I spent 2,500 hexite on the Empire, so that's why I have 7,500 hexite. Another point is, when the demo existed, you could donate 100 bits so that the streamer and donator can both earn 350 hexite shards, which 100 bits is $1. I'm not sure if the streamer and donator kept these bits for early access, but everything was so vague with how you earned hexite shards with this system. So my first points with the Empire system is there is zero information on how the Empire works in the first place for newbies. And four things that are the most prominent is it only shows that you can make an empire while it's in the research section. There is zero information beyond that inside the game. It doesn't explain why there are empires on the map and what they do. They don't explain how much a watchtower takes over. And I have no clue what a siege does until I start sieging. The Empire system alone is super manipulative. And here's why I believe this system manipulates the player over. And I have 6 points. Making hexite capsules feels like an extra step just to make something else. Even though you could say it's heavy cargo you are carrying around, I would totally be fine with it if it wasn't premium currency. There's no information about the Empire system when you play the game, so a newbie could assume the Empire system is completely free, trying to build up to that to then be very disappointed that it is a premium thing. Mobile games do this all the time, where they first make you addicted, then beg you to pay money. Another point is, as the leader, I hated having the crown on me. It honestly feels like the crown was meant for ego trippers that want power, which currently feels perfect for the Empire system. When you have a watchtower, you are now timed to make sure you keep them up, adding FOMO to the mix, fear of missing out. This currency can also stack up without you realizing, since the hexite capsules keep circulating, adding more and more hexite shards spending into the mix. What's worse with FOMO is siege battles. This system is required if someone decides on sieging you. This siege turns into a who has more hexite shards auction before both sides will lose all their hexite shards either way. I'm certain having a system where you PvP each other's premium currency might be illegal in some countries. I didn't really find any proof about this, but it just screams illegal to me. So let's do a hypothetical situation. I make my base and add 10 watchtowers, making that cost 4,500 hexite shards. But I want to make sure my watchtowers have lots of upkeep time on them. So I give each one 52 extra days. That would cost 5 hexite capsules each tower, making them cost 5,000 hexite shards. That is 9,500 hexite shards total if I wanted to keep my base up with 10 watchtowers for 2 months. I'm not even counting sieges, but with sieges, hexite shards would completely skyrocket the spending of hexite shards. 9,500 is an equivalent to $30 almost, at least with full game release prices. Now that whole category was about manipulation. This one is about counter arguments. I've been hearing lots of counter arguments every time I bring up the Empire system being bad. So here they are, and my arguments against them.
It's cosmetic only, dude.
Empires that actively spend hexite are bigger and flashier than ones that aren't empires, causing advertisement for them. Also, this can be a major mechanic to a settlement. Hauling hexite capsules and choosing places to capture are not cosmetic, and watchtowers do consume a little bit of land. Again, not a cosmetic thing.
Oh my god, dude, it's to support the devs!
They promoted their servers as being cheap and efficient. Here's the video.
Persistent multiplayer games are now a fraction of the cost to develop. And with Space9DB main cloud deployment, they're also a fraction of the cost to run. Running a fully featured MMORPG like BitCraft on main cloud with thousands of concurrently connected players only costs about $5 an hour.
Another point is there are better ways. Early access doesn't even have cosmetics you can buy yet, but it has this empire system. Let me share premium cosmetic ideas, like customizing your base, making certain buildings, roads, and walls look more unique, customizing yourself. You can already tell this game is going to add this from looking at all the customization options for your character. And customizing your empire logo, adding more cosmetic choices with the logo, maybe even adding a whole COD Black Ops customization screen where you can make your own logo would be pretty cool. My last point is, I believe the only excuse the devs can pull from this is, I like money. I can't argue against that if that's the case.
I don't understand why you decide to focus on it. You don't have to focus on it.
The whole map is filled with empires, and everyone in chat talks about them, so it's practically impossible to not focus on it.
Why don't you just ignore chat? Oh my god. Jeez. You can just ignore them.
Community is a big part of this game, so why would I ignore chat? But in the end of all things, I have a major worry about the future of this game. And it's that it could become a give me your hexite or else type of game, where the Empire could just beg their people to give hexite for the greater good. If it's obvious by now, I will not be playing this game anymore from this Empire system alone. So the only way I'll be joining back is if the Empire system's premium currency is completely removed. It is way too manipulative, and there are so much better alternatives to monetize your own game. I never make videos like this where I'm passionate enough to give out all my complaints, especially when my channel's mainly about games I like. But since BitCraft barely came out, I'm certain there's a chance I can change the developers' opinions, or at least let players be aware of the system. So yeah, this is only meant to be a complaining video and a feedback video. I'm not here to try to change your opinion on buying or playing this game, because this is my personal opinion. So if you're here just to see if you want to buy this game, you should probably look at another video, because I'm just here to complain. Me saying this at the outro though, I guess it's too late for that. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this video interesting, I don't recommend my other videos, because I don't really make videos like this. Every now and then I do. It's just rare for me to make videos like this. So yeah, get away from here if you like my video. Bye bye.